Hello guys, it's Paula again. I hope you enjoyed my last video and I hope that I'm not as nervous this time. Today I want to show you a little bit about distressed oxide ink. I'm not an expert by no means, but I have fun with it, and I'm just going to do some simple tags. And these are a couple scraps of tags I had that I played with this morning. So let's get started. I'm going to try to keep this video at 30 minutes. We'll see. Okay, and we're going to get a much larger tag to work on. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is decide on the colors. I'm working on an album, or actually a junk journal, that is primarily lavender blue and pink pastel, and it has florals in it. So let's start off with the lighter shade. I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit there of, and that is the picked raspberry. And then I'm going to put Salty Ocean right here. Got a little bit of that. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more of the pink. Okay, and over on this side, let's do lavender, which is seedless preserves. And we might do some peeled paint. We'll just see. Okay, what I do is I just spray it. Not too much. You don't want to water it down too thin, depending on what you're wanting, what kind of look you're wanting. I want it to have a little bit of color, so that's why I'm doing it like I am. So let's start with the lightest color, which is the pink. And I just kind of put the tag in there and just kind of give it a turn and lift it up. That's so pretty. The pink is so brilliant. Now, if I had added more water to this, it would be much lighter. Okay, now in between each of these, I'm going to do a quick heat gun. I'm sorry, I'll be as fast as I can. If we don't heat it in between the colors, they will run together and maybe make a color you don't want. In this particular project, I don't want my colors to blend a lot. So now let's try some of the blue. And you can decide where you want it, whether you want it in the left corner, the right corner, the lower portion. It's up to you. Now, I'm really not picky because this is just one we're playing with. So I'm going to let it, you can let it run, you know, from side to side or down into the pink, depending on what you want. Let me make sure I'm in camera. Okay. I'm new at this, so please be patient if I get out of camera. I know if I stay in a certain area, we may be okay. Okay, since this is up here and I want a little bit of the seedless preserves on here on the lower portion, I'm just gonna pop it down there, pick it up. Now, I love that color. Just kind of turning it around, and I think I'm gonna put a little bit of it up here in the right hand corner. You never know how it's going to look. No two tags look the same. Now, just so you know, this is watercolor paper I'm using. I think you get a better look with the watercolor paper. You don't have to use it. I'm gonna just kind of move this around a little bit because I want it to kind of run down in here. You can use your brush if you want. If you just want it to do its own thing, you can do that as well. But sometimes I like for it to do, sometimes I like to be in control of it. So, okay, now let's add some more blue kind of right here in the area that's dried. And you can just kind of bend it and put it where you want it. There we go. I think I'm going to put a little bit in this right corner. Well, maybe more than that. And you can just make the decision where you want it. Okay, now I'm going to set this aside and let it dry. And let's do another one. And actually, I think I'm going to do a couple of these little tags. Now, these are not watercolor, but I want to use some in my book. And so I want to see what I can come up with. Now, see, that is really, this little tag is precious. I got this, these tags at the Tattered Dreams with Denise, over at Denise's place. And I just think they're so cute. I tea stained them. Now I'm adding this third color, which is not a whole lot different, depending. Now this time it's kind of running around, doing its own thing. I'm going to add some more blue down here. I think that's, well, maybe a little blue on this side. There. I just think that's so sweet. Now, I'm going to set it aside to dry. And let's try, I'm going to try another tag. Now, this tag I just got like at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. It's just one that I tea stained. And you can see the little polka dots in it. I hope that's not too dark. How's that? Okay. All right, let's start with the lighter, which is the pink. I hope you guys can see this. Okay. Okay, now we're going to go over and try some blue. All right, and a little lavender. I love this lavender. It's so bright. Okay. All right, I'm going to let that dry, and just want to make one more of the little mini tags that I got from Denise's shop. We have some paint left, and I just don't want to waste it. So there's the blue. And let's add some pink. And now the lavender. All right, I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to wipe off our paint, and I should say our ink, and try something different that I've not really done myself. And that is stamping with your tack. So What I recommend is that you use archival ink, and I use black on just about everything. Now, not in my junk journals as much. Usually I'll use a brown or a coordinating color, but today we're going to use black. It's actually jet black. Okay, so take the lid off. Now, most journals are not real fancy or anything, so you can do this whatever way you want. You can get archival ink in multiple colors. Okay, so this is a new ink pad. I hope it's not too wet. See there? Okay, and I'm gonna run some of my flowers off the side of the page. This way it will look more natural. I'm just going to do 3 of those. Now I'm going to bring in my leaf. And they don't have to be perfect, because leaves go all over the place. I'm letting those run off the page as well. Let's put a couple over here. And again, they don't have to be perfect. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I do know that you can use archival ink to do this. Or I've seen people do it, I'll put it that way. Now, you will also, with doing it this way, there's a good chance that you will, let's just put a leaf down here as if a flower's there to kind of fill in the area. Whoops, missed it a little bit there, but that's okay. I'm going to see if I can go ahead and do it. Close enough. Okay, I'm going to put the lid on my ink, set it aside. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is lay out the colors. I'm going to hold this up and let you see it pretty good, close up there. See, this is such a cute flower set, and I'm trying to remember who made this set. I'll look and let you know, or if you want to know, you can just send me a question and I'll look it up. Okay, now I'm going to load the distressed oxide onto my mat. That's the lavender. This is going to be the blue. This is going to be the lighter pink. Let's add some green this time. Let's see. I'm trying to not cause a shadow in here. I'm having a little bit of trouble with shadows. So if it does make a shadow, I will redo the video or work on the shadow. Again, I'm new at this, and so we are having some technical difficulties each video, but nothing major. Okay, so now I'm going to take my distress sprayer and spray each one. Now, if I had a lot of time, I'd probably let this tag dry just slightly, so I'm just going to kind of wave it around a little bit. Okay, now I'm gonna decide what color I want my flowers. I think I'm gonna do one of them, I might do one each color. Huh, that's really brave. Okay, so let's just try the lavender first. And you can kind of eyeball where you put your lavender, excuse me, your inks, where you stamped your flowers. Now see, I'm not inside the flower, which that's not what I was trying to do. Now you can wet your brush if you want. If you like this look, you can leave it. And you can just kind of wet the brush a little bit and fill in a little more, and maybe even take some out of the lines. And that would be done. See, that particular design makes me happy. So I'm going to go down here to this one while this one's drying. And I think I'm going to do the lighter pink farther away from the lavender. So we're going to dip it in here. Just look before you do it and see where your flower is. And I'm going to dip it again. And I might bend it a little bit to get what I want. Right there. And you could push it with your fingers also. Now I'm going to wet my brush. And I think I'm going to move it around a little bit. It looks a mess right now, but be shocked at how cool it's going to look. There's a little bit of pink here that's puddling, and I don't want it to be that pink, so I'm just kind of picking it up with my brush. And then you can also dab it with your paper towel if you don't like it. You could actually dab it with your paper towel in between colors if you want to. Okay, now this flower in the middle is going to be the blue. And let's see what happens. Let's see. You can kind of, with the watercolor good grief. With the watercolor paper, you can see the outline of the flowers a little bit through it. So I can kind of see where I'm going. I'm going to do a little bit here because I want some of it to run outside the lines. It's not cooperating. Let's do like kind of bend it here. Well, I might just have to do my brush. So I'm going to wet my brush and just bring some out. I want it to look like my grandson did it. You know, he's only 5, but he does love to paint. Okay, so I'm going to hit this with the heat gun for just a second. I don't really want my greens to mix in with my colors, my brighter colors for what I need it for. The little puzzles are a little harder to dry up, but once most of your paper is dry, you can just dab it up with a towel. Okay, and that's what I'm going to do in that one little spot right there. I'm just going to dab it a little bit. You do need lots of paper towels and baby wipes handy. Okay, so now what we need to do is our leaves. This is going to be a little harder because they're much smaller, but we know we have one here in the corner, so I'm going to kind of bend my tag that direction. Let's do that again. I'm going to take my brush and see, I've got a little bit of green right there in my pink. I'm just going to dab it up. It's really pretty forgiving. Okay, now let's try this leaf next to the blue. I'm going to bend kind of backwards here so it can't get into my flower any more than necessary. Wow, I got it really well. Okay, and once again, I don't like how it's blending in the lavender. So what I'm going to do is, you can pick up straight from your ink on the pad if you want, and just add exactly where you want. And that's not a big deal to do that. This is your project. You do it however you want. Now I'm going to try to do 2 leaves at once. Let's see if I can do this without messing it up too awfully bad. I think I'm going to have to add some more green on my pad. Let me do that real quick. Spray it with my water. Now, let's try that again. Like I said, I've never done this, so we may just have a hot mess when we're done. And that's okay. So I've got down in here a little bit, so I'm going to wipe that away. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I like the colors blending. All right, now let's try to get these down on the end. They already have quite a bit of pink in them, and that's all right. Let's see. Let's do this. Oh, we got one of them. You just keep dipping until you're satisfied. Okay, so I want this one leaf that is not cooperating to have some green. And it doesn't have to be a lot. And then I've got this leaf here in the middle that I've got to attempt to get some green on. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to kind of bend my card. Now when your card gets really wet, you could end up with, you could tear your card, so you have to be very careful. Now I'm going to dip into what's left of my green and just kind of fill it in a little bit. Touch up any that you want to be greener. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of dry that right there where it's wet. So I can lay this down. Just kind of manipulate your tag so it's kind of the shape you want. Now I'm going to hit it with the dryer for just a second. Now yes, this was messy, and it looks like my grandson did it. But it's fun to get messy sometimes as an adult. Now I want to go ahead and wipe these colors off because I'm done with those. And knowing me, I will get them everywhere. I get another wipey. Get it good and clean. We can start the next process. Okay, so what we're going to do next is stamp. Now I know we just stamped, and my pad is wanting to come up. I thought we would add a little bit of stamps on the other ones while this one's drying better on these smaller ones. Now, we're not doing the flowers on these. We are going, you can stamp with anything. You can stamp with a background stamp of writing or script, and they have many different scripts out there. So I think we'll do a little bit of that. Let me find my ink. You have to have so many products when you do these videos handy that it's easy to get lost. So I'm going to put some ink on my pad here. And you don't just push down, you kind of roll it. So that, and you don't want to go perfect directions. You just do like that. Let me show you. You just want it just to get a little bit of the script. So I'm going to hit it again. Let's turn our pad another direction this time. And see, it's going to be different each time you do it. Now, I'm just going to turn my tag and hit it right here. And maybe right here. You don't want to go crazy and put too many on there because you want it just to be a touch of script. Now, if you want it to look like it's, you know, repetitive, you can add a little bit here and there. So that's all I'm going to add to this one. Okay, let's add some to this mini tags here. And they are cute. We can probably hit 2 of them at a time. Yep, we did. I'm going to turn this little one around and kind of hit him again. Move this guy over. Whoops, missed him altogether. There. So, it's not a lot, but it's enough to make it fun. So do we want to add any to the flowers, or do we have enough on here? Probably what I would have done with the flowers. Like I said, I've only done my practice tag for this video. I would have done it prior to doing the flowers if I were going to do it. But I don't really want anything else to make it busier. So I'm going to go directly to my splatters. Okay, so when I do tags, I like to splatter in multiple colors. And so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to move these to the side, let them kind of dry while I get the box ready. I'm going to wipe the mat. Okay. Close up my ink pad, move it to the side, and dry off my mat. I've got to find some tape to hold my mat down. It does not want to cooperate. Okay, so what I recommend when you splatter, you're going to want to splatter with at least 2 colors. And so I'm going to try splattering with gold metallic. This is a craft paint by Anita's. And they have several different golds. I can't even read the title of the paint, but it's gold. And I would shake them up. And this is black. And I have some white Dilutions paint. I'm going to try to do a little bit with. Now, if it was just me here doing nothing, I would just do it on my mat. But since we're doing this together, I'm going to just put a little bit in my little bows. These little bows are really handy. And I'm going to add water to them. Now, you can just squirt it with your sprayer also, which I think probably would be easier. And again, the more water, the less paint. So, all right, and this one is ready. I think I'm just going to mix one at a time. Okay, so lay my towel there so I can put my brush on it. You want to always put the lid back on your paint or you will really have a mess. Okay, so I'm gonna move my tags to the side. I have, and now you can do that, the splattering right here, but I will warn you, it's messy and it will go everywhere. So what I've done, and I know you guys probably have one of these boxes. This is a box that I ordered from and got paper. Now, anything, any box will do. Pizza box, anything. And I put paper towels down inside so that I can just pick it up and be done with it. Now what I'm going to do is lay all of my tags in the box. And just kind of put them in a cluster. Whoops, forgot my circle. Find that little fella, get him in here. Now, just so you know, the lid is protecting most of the stuff that's in the front. Because usually it doesn't splatter to the sides. I'm not telling you it doesn't ever, but I haven't experienced that. So I always wet my brush first, and then I get a bigger brush than what I want my splatters to be. And so let's see what happens. Hold your brush out like a drumstick. Mix your brush around, your other brush around inside your paint. Now, I just tap. The more you tap, you just move while you're tapping. Now, you're not going to see a lot, and you can go back and reload your brush. You're not going to see a lot of the gold. It's not super dark, but when it's all complete, it's going to look good. And you'll learn how to guide your brush while doing this. Okay, I'm going to wash my brush. And we're going to go on to the next color, which I usually do black last. So let's do some white, which is the Dilutions. What did I do with my, I'm just going to do it right here on my little mat. Well, I guess I'm not. Oh, guess I haven't used that. So we're going to open it right now. Okay. I usually use bottle paint, but I haven't used this in this color to sprinkle, but I have used it in other colors, and I like the way it does. So I'm going to dip some of this out. Can you see me there? Okay. I'm going to dip some of this out onto my mat. It didn't take very much. Like, see, that's all we're going to need. It's one little dip. I'm going to close up my paint. Set it to the side. Now, this time I'm just going to squirt water from my spray bottle down. And again, more is less paint. More water, less color. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to start with the white. Now, you may not be able to see this very good. Now, I like all size, splatters. So, if you don't, you use a smaller brush if you want smaller splatters. Bigger brush for bigger splatters. I'm not going to guarantee that a smaller brush won't give you some big splatters. And also, how high up you are and how low down you are depends on, that will make a difference with your, like if you want some bigger ones, come down lower. And if you notice, I have my apron on today because I don't want it all over me. And this is acrylic paint that I'm using now, so I want this flower one to get some bigger ones. Let's go down lower. All right. Okay. So now we're done with the white. I'm going to clean up this paint right here. Okay, now the next color we're going to use is black, the dreaded black. I'm really cautious with the black, but I'm just going to dip into my bottle and get my brush loaded pretty good right there. Lay it down there, put my lid on. And spray with my sprayer. Stir it up. It's kind of like cooking. Get your big brush. Now start high when you first start doing the black, because black will stand out much better. And load it again. I'm looking around to see if there's a place that needs it. This little one's kind of getting ignored. There we go. Okay. So that's the splatter part of the video. Now I'm wiping this paint up, and I'm going to move our box out of the way. I'm going to take our tags out first. I'm going to hold them up and let you see where we're at right now. I'll turn it sideways so you can see it better. Okay, messy thing right now. Here's our floral. I like the way this turned out. I hope you guys do. And our baby tags. I don't know if you're going to be able to see those or not. My big old hands get in the way. And our circle. It's a little bit easier to see him. My husband's going to work on my lighting for me later. I hope next time it's a little bit better for you guys. Okay, now I'm going to move my box to the side. My messy box. No, it's really not that bad. Okay, now we're going to, hopefully these are going to be dry enough. Maybe I'm going to hit them with the heat gun so that we can go ahead and finish them. Now you can decorate the tags any way you want. You can use lace, rickrack, or you can just tie a string or something through your hole punch. Now you can use lace to do your hole punch. Something else you can do, and I forgot to show you, you want it to be your second step on the regular tag, on like this one. You want it to be just the paint completed, or the ink completed, and then you can take water in your hand and just, splatter it like we did the paint splatters. Give it a few seconds, dab it with your paper towel, and if you do that, you will get white splotches in your paint. Looks really cool. But we went right past that step, and I completely forgot about that. I was going to show you that, but maybe another video. Okay, these are real close to being dry. I think they're dry enough that I can show you what I need to. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to get my vintage photo. out. I'm going to pull up my seat so I can sit here while I do this part, now that I know exactly where you're going to be. You load your sponge tool, and I ink around the sides. It's very simple. Now, the tag is still a little wet. I would recommend, if you were doing this at home, just to give it, 5 or 10 minutes, maybe 15 to dry. Because I can still feel a little wetness every now and then. I love doing this. I'm sure most of you have seen even Tim Holtz show demos like this to demonstrate his new products. He's a genius when it comes to mixed media. I, on the other hand, I'm not a genius, but I appreciate that he is. It really fills my days full of fun. And I'm inking the back because if you're doing a junk journal, you'll want to have space for video. Now, in this particular case, I didn't get a lot of paint on the back of my tag. So I think I'm going to leave it like that and not put coffee stain or tea stained paper on the back. And I hit it a little bit with a little bit of darkness. I didn't do a great job here, but there you go. On that one is done. And this one is the one that is the wettest. So I'm going to try to hold it. Just barely hit it with the ink, because I don't want to smear my beautiful flowers. I know they're not perfect, but nothing is. Okay. And again, you'll want to ink the back, but I'm going to skip that part because of time. I think you get it. And then we're going to ink all the small ones also. And same thing, now if you get paint on your tags, you want to cover them if you're doing journaling. And really just for aesthetic reasons on the back. So people, especially if you're giving it as a gift or you're selling it or something, it just looks nicer. And who doesn't like a nice gift from someone that's homemade? I know I do. I wanted to start easy with most of my videos at first, but I do have some that might have to be more than one part. Okay, now we're through with the ink, and we have to think about how we want to decorate them. Now, I like the flower. I think I'm going to give the flower a, let me see. See, this is too girly. I don't want to use that. The blue wouldn't be bad because we have some blue in here. Or the pale pink. But I think I'm going to put some lace. I think I have some lace that I had left over. I think I'm going to glue some lace on the bottom of this one. And let's see. Just going to run some fabric glue across here, fabric tack. And it's hard to tell which side's correct. They both look so much alike. I think that's it. Now my card is kind of curving, but that's okay. That's still because it has moisture in it. Now I do want to remind you, this is a perfect fit. I do want to remind you that these tags, these two big tags, are watercolor. And the smaller ones are not. So you don't have to have watercolor tags. I just happened to do watercoloring and I had the paper. So let's see what we can do with this one to make it different. Let's add some, maybe we'll add a couple strips. Get my scissors here. Let's run 2 strips across here. If I can get it straight. Perfect. That's a change. There's the second one. Sometimes I just like to do different things. It's a perfect match with that ribbon. I didn't realize it was going to be that perfect. Add one here at the bottom. Now you could add a decoration on here. You could put a button and you know, something else to doll it up if you want it dolled up. Or if you just want to leave it, that's good too. Or you can cover your buttonhole with paper, or just cut your own, or just use the store-bought. If I can get hold of them, I'll show you what I'm talking about. The punch covers. I don't know what these are called. I can't remember off the top of my head. Okay, so let's, not perfectly straight, but close enough. I'm just gonna turn the card over and trim them. They don't have to be perfect either, especially if you're putting it in a junk journal. I don't worry about it being so perfect. That didn't turn out too shoddy. Okay, so let's take, I think we should take this piece of maybe a piece of this lace that was left over. Put it right here. And then put a little piece of the blue right here. Again, this is perfect for like a button. And I just kind of turn the lace a different direction. Let's see. Okay. And the same with this one. Now I think what I'm going to do, trying to decide, I'm thinking in my head here, I'm going to get my little flowers out if I can locate them. I thought they were right here, but I guess they're not. So we'll use something different. Let's just find some lace to use. We'll use the same lace. I don't know what happened to my flowers. I'll find them later. So I'm just going to take and cut about that much. I don't do a lot of measuring, guys. And I'm just going to cover the hole in the back because I don't like it to show. And we're going to staple it because that's easy. If I can get it on there without it giving me a hard time. You know, sometimes it wrestles your attempts. Okay, there's that one. And let's just do the same thing for this one. I like the way that looks. You can also put your tag on kind of at an angle. where it kind of looks like it has a loop in it like this. Let's try to do that with this one. It's been a while since I've done one of those, so it won't be perfectly straight, but that's all right. Okay. And there's that one. And you know, I think these little tags are so small that they look good together, just as they are. But I want to, well, maybe I don't think I want to do anything but string on this little guy. So I think I'll pull out some string out of this little bag. Hopefully it will cooperate and let me pull some out. You know how it is when you want it to work, it doesn't work. Well, let's just pull some like that. There we go. And there's all kinds of ways you can do this, you know. I'm going to pull the two ends together. And I'll see if my terrible eyes will work the first time. There we go. And I'm just going to pull it through the loop. And I know my hands are probably in the way. There you go. So what I want to do now is just show you each one. I hope that it's not too dark. This is the circle. This is one of the minis. And again, you can do anything, guys. This is the minis again. Here's just our, let me see if you can see the top there. Just simple. Double lace. I'll turn it sideways so maybe you can see the whole thing. Okay, and our last one, which we were just plain, hoping that it would work. And it did. I hope you'll try all these ideas if you haven't tried them. And if you have, if you'll just try them again, have fun. Sometimes it's just fun to get messy. Now remember, you can do this on greeting cards. You can do it on scrapbooking pages. I've done that on scrapbook. I've done it on scrapbooking paper. On just about anything. You can do letterhead. You name it. You can try it on it because it's a simple mixed media type ink. And I use it also in my journals, you know, that I just want to get in and get dirty. And I use them in my books as well. So I had fun with you guys today for my second video. I hope you had fun, and I'll be back soon. Thank you guys. Have a blessed day.